If you understand French but can't speak, this video will show you exactly what to change so you can start speaking confidently without hours of studying. I'll break down the mindset shift and a few simple habits that made speaking easier. Let's discuss the mindset shift that changes everything. I realized I didn't need France to learn French. When I first started learning, I was just going to French class in high school 5 days a week, and I applied myself in class and paid attention. And I took the homework and activities seriously, and that allowed me to learn a lot. I noticed the people who didn't do well in class didn't make any efforts to make progress. They basically goofed around and didn't get that much value or learning out of the course. Another part of this mindset shift is that I stopped waiting for the perfect moment to begin learning. I decided to hustle and learn as much as I possibly could with the environment and the resources that I already have. I also stopped dwelling on the fact that I couldn't go to France and just be immersed in a real francophone environment. Once I had this shift, I committed to consistency over intensity and always kept in mind something that many people forget. France doesn't make you fluent, your habits do. Another part of Another shift that was important in my progress in learning while still being in the United States is that I built basically a no travel immersion system to still immerse myself. For example, I replaced English with French in daily life wherever I could. I started listening to and watching YouTube videos, podcasts, and music all in French. And if I needed to use the subtitles for videos or movies, I did that as well. And another thing I like to do is there's a certain movie or show that I like and I can find a French version of it, then I'll turn on the French version and have the subtitles on and everything. So then I'll know exactly what the French equivalent is of the original English dialogue, and then I can easily follow along with that since that is content that I'm already familiar with in my native English language. If you need guidance on which basic French phrases to start out with when learning, I have a free PDF linked in the description below that will show you many of the basic phrases that you need to start with when learning. Another way that I replaced English with French in my life is that I started to just kind of think through things, just normal everyday things in my head in French. You know, if I was thinking about what homework I had to do or what classes I had to go to or anything like that, there are plenty of ways that you can speak with people and find speaking practice at home, even if you're not in a francophone country or area. Like you can use plenty of services to book calls with native French speakers and you can chat with them for 30 minutes or an hour and you can get that kind of practice that way. You can talk with, I also talked with my classmates and practiced with them. I went to French clubs. I talked even with my professors and teachers, many of whom were native speakers. So that was a very good source of speaking practice here at home as well. Probably the most important part of this immersion system that I built is just taking baby steps and focusing on small lessons. Like I said, much of the time where I learned was done for 45 minutes to an hour per day in class. And then the rest of the time, I didn't have time to just sit there and study for hours and hours because I had to go off and focus on other unrelated things. The other important piece of this puzzle is that I had three breakthroughs that unlocked fluency. The first one is that I stopped trying to speak perfectly. I embraced speaking bad French and realized that that was more important than having everything be 100% correct. I acknowledged that I made mistakes. I realized that I had an American accent, that I didn't sound exactly like a native speaker would. I didn't sound the ideal French way, but that was all okay. I just focused on what I could do and embraced any kind of small wins or achievements. And of course, if you're a beginner and you have achievements, they may not look as good as what someone who's 10 steps ahead of you is doing, but that's okay. You have to focus on you and your journey and embrace your where you're at. And doing that will help your confidence. And when you keep, you know, increasing your confidence gradually, it'll compound and eventually it'll help you get you further faster. The last breakthrough is that I focused on learning practical French, not just the academic style French. I made sure to look at real conversations that people were having and looked at what kind of jokes they made, what kind of mistakes they made. I looked at their culture, slang, their humor, and the different idiom, idioms that they used. And I just focused on the things that you can't learn very well with textbooks. Because if you just focus on learning from a textbook and you don't have any other sources of education, your French won't be well-rounded. I hope this video helped motivate you in your beginner French learning journey. And if it did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more beginner French motivation. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.